just a warm person. I call her Auntie Mel and I call her Grandma. She's Joanna's grandma for me. Reason being, my daughter Joanna, if I started to tell you the story about Joanna, I have a testimony online. You can visit it at Wafi. That's my church. Right, so if you go online, type in testimony of Karine Bailey Brooks, Joanna came about. And Joanna came about. I wanted to give her name Anna because the story of Anna, all of us are Christians, so we know that story when Anna couldn't conceive what she did. I did more than Anna, and God blessed me with Joanna. So thanks be to God. After 8 miscarriages, 2 sets of twins, got Joanna on the 9th occasion. Less than a pound, 11 ounces. Yes, and 24 weeks. I mean, she was born at 6 months. So your picture now. To God be the glory. All right? Right. So my task tonight is to inform you a bit about the safety. And a lot of us take our safety not as priority. Safety starts with you. Safety starts with us, just the police, right? And we complain a lot. Yes, we serve, we protect, we offshore, of course. But the personal safety comes from us, starts with us in our homes, with our children, our families, our church families, our extended families. That's where safety starts. So we are just going to look at a few pointers tonight. What is safety? And I got this from Google. The condition of being protected from or unlikely to cause danger, risk, or injury. What is personal safety? Your safety is a general recognition and avoidance of possible harmful situation of persons in your surroundings. So, harmful, and some people take things for granted. I saw last night on news that they you saw this, the influencer robbing people with a prank. I know even though I can speak in tongues and plead the blood of Jesus, it will be something else for me if you try that. So be mindful of your surrounding. When you're going out, when you're coming in, sometimes you go to the supermarket and you wait until you reach to the cashier. You're looking for your purse in your bags. You don't know if the victim is behind you. Look for your money first. Hold it in your hand so you don't have to access the excess cash that you shouldn't be walking with in your bag. Right? Requirements of safety. So we plan. What do we plan? We plan our routes to work. We plan our day, activity. There is this book, Think with Ink. So sometimes when we are planning and we are not sure, write it down so our day can have a, smooth day, so to speak. Awareness, as I talk to you about your surroundings, your environs. Alertness, act and react. How you act to situation when they come upon you and how you react to them. Advert. So you can turn away, you can walk away from situation, but there are times when situation comes at you that you might not be able to act so swiftly and even turn away or walk away. I will try to go through it. Personal safety. Okay, Pastor. Personal safety tips. So we are going to look on safety on foot. When you walk about in your community, the parks, that sort of thing. Safety with cash transaction, safety whilst driving, safety at home, safety outside the home. Safety on foot. I don't know if you can, it is sort of small, but I'll read from here. Let someone knows where you are going and what time to expect you back. And I know some of us are so secretive, even to our husbands or kids and them nosy. We don't want them in our business. We don't want them to know where we're going. But it is important for you to tell somebody where you are going. Keep your valuables out of sight and secure them. So we just bought a 50-inch television, but we don't try to cut up the box and put it in the garbage bin because we want our neighbor down the road to know that we just buy the TV. So we put the big box outside, and next thing you know, officer then thief me TV. So we have to be mindful of that. Stay alert to your surrounding when out and about. If you are walking on the road and you see someone behind you gaining traction of you, stop, look, listen. And if you have to cry, help, run if you don't trust the person. That is why some persons tell their kids don't talk to strangers. I remember just a little analogy. I will remember being at the taxi stand in Old Harbour, and I took my nephew with me. And the taxi man was saying, Old Harbour, New Harbour 3, and I said, my nephew looked at him and said, why don't you not talk to stranger? What you hold on my hand for? You got 3, I don't know you. You know? So you have to, even though we grow our children sheltered, some of us, we have to be sociable, but not with everybody. Because in this time and age that we are living, even with our children, they will use our children for exploitation and human trafficking. Some of these kids, even though they are missing and we don't hear anything about them, sometimes what's going on, it's alarming, right? If something doesn't feel right, it is possible, it isn't. Trust your instinct. So if you're going at the bar and you look for the ladies, church people may not expect you to go a bar, just, but if you, say for instance, you take a taxi and when you look in the taxi, you see some big, hefty men. That's your instinct. They might be good men, they can be pastor, right? But trust your instinct. Why would you be a female, the lone female, and go into that vehicle? So you have to trust your instinct, because robbery not only take one people to be harmed, but when 2 is unarmed, they can overpower you. All right? Don't assume that because you have been somewhere before that you know what will happen this time around. So you used to come on the church premises and you're here waiting for pastor, and you will wait and will wait and will wait. But because we waiting for so long, we let down our guards. So we don't look around, we don't try to call pastor to see where he is, and we don't try to call a church sister and say, I'm alone here, is anybody else coming, that sort of thing. So we have to be mindful that even though this place is our church premises, it can be our weakest point. I work at crime scene for 11 years, and I can tell you they kill people in church. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a target. Some things are happening out there, it's unrealistic. But we're living in a real world. So we have to be mindful. Pastor up here preaching, and even when the Holy Spirit take away, we still have to look out our eyes, because we don't know. Pastor may preach one message, and the criminal he might talk to. And the criminal now go see it in the spiritual realm. He might go see it in a flesh. So we have to look and be mindful. Be our brother's keeper. Yes, it is biblical, but it's also physical. And what the good book say, which is the Bible, say, without wisdom the people perish. So meanwhile we may plead in the blood of Jesus, for the blood cannot run. No, so yes, so we have to be mindful of that. If you are walking and a vehicle pulls up beside you suddenly, quickly run in the opposite direction. Why you think that? Somebody tell me why you think that. Right. So some persons can only go forward. Females, not true. Some of us can only go forward when it comes on to reverse parallel parking. So by the time the perpetrator should reverse, or when you're reversing, man of God, we reverse slower than when we go forward. Not true. So when you start to run in the opposite direction, it will take some time for that person to catch up on you. And don't run in any lonely space. Run in spaces where somebody can see you. People will stoop, will bend down, call police. You know? So try and do that. Pay keen attention to persons who are walking at your pace behind you and who go everywhere you go and stop when you stop. So you go at the ATM and you see this familiar face. You go to the supermarket, you see the familiar face. You're going into the taxi. They don't board the same taxi as you, but they board the one behind you. You stop at the bus stop down there. They go to the bus stop before or after you and stop. That person is following you. So you have to be mindful of those. You can't take safety with cash transaction. Do not travel with large sum of cash. We are going, what we say now, plastic or cashless. In Jamaica, we're moving like US. Some of us say it's a mark of the beast and the list goes on, but we have to use wisdom. Still have to live until election sure not come. Not so the rapture come. We still have to live. So while we're living, we must use wisdom. Right. Conduct transaction via bank only. Example, car sale, selling your house. You see the sign put up, house for sale. Sometimes it's not even the owner of the house don't know nothing about the house as well. And we have regular persons selling other people land, and you know the history of that, some of us. They sell the land, and when you find out it's 2, 3 of you who own the same piece of land. Look at what happened at Clifton the other day. All the man come and write on the receipt is Mr. Brown. Hello? Who is Mr. Brown? You can go to the police, and ask, and everybody have smartphone now. Take time and record the conversation. Take time and see if you can take off the flash off your phone and take a little picture somewhere. If it's even dark, we have Photoshop can enhance it. And then we have another thing where we can, if you describe the person, we can draw them. But when you just take Mr. Brown take your 200, 300,000, sometimes to you hide, you see, Pastor. And then you go take up, you give Mr. Brown, like seriously? So, yes, we have to, right under we nose, not true? Right. So that is the same explanation I was giving you. People will sell your properties unknowingly. Happen in my family. Right in my family. They are not abroad, they are here. And when they come, their house is occupied. You see, it happened to the inspector. It was in the Observer the other day. And don't think that people in places above us not doing things. When he went to pay his property taxes at the tax office, they told him at the tax office that he's no longer the owner. It was in about 2 weeks Observer. Some people call the inspector stupid, but not tell you, say, they have, I don't know where they get this clause from or this, saying that if you don't pay your taxes for 15 years, me can just pay up the taxes and take your land. The Bible tells we say taxes are one of them things there, and with tithes, it's sure, not true, you must pay them something there. So make him go tell God, oh, and why him never pay fee taxes. But you pay the taxes now and take over the man land, and then somebody do some hanky-panky in a tax office and get the land. So it was in the Observer the other day. I think the matter is before the court now. All right, let's move on. Utilize online banking or draft checks when paying persons. So you employ a group of people. Why you go buy a whole envelope, put them money in, and when you can't transfer the money to them account? Everybody have account? Yes? You not have none? I understand everybody is on edge based on what is happening in the news, but okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh. Know the full name of persons you are doing business with. So no Mr. Brown, no Mr. Tom, Miss Jane. Who are those persons really? Ask the police for help if you have to do so. Sir, me I go buy a, you know that they have fraud driver's license, eh? And they have fraud passport. Not true? Yeah, so people can't even give you their documents. Everybody will drive, and when you check it out, you have to stand your loses because this don't exist. This address don't exist. I remember doing when I used to like lock up persons. I remember doing bail. Judge wanted to blame somebody, and they sent me to look. It was a big open lot. Nobody no live there from it exists since we born. No, serious? So some addresses are vague. Or could you just live Old Harbour Road? You know, have no lane, you know, no street, you know, have no nothing. So if you see that vague address, remember, you know, write and describe your house, or your house painting and all of that. So we have to be mindful of that. And I implore every driver to walk with a pen and even have one piece of paper in your vehicle. Why I say this? Sometimes you meet in a little vendor, and persons not so straight. And you can't catch color, you may catch numbers, you may not catch letters. But when investigation is done, you might be on the winning side. So try and have a pen. Something happen, try and have a pen. And don't readily, when you're meeting an accident, to give somebody a hand over your paper like that. No, hold on to it. It's yours. They're saying exchange documents, and next thing when you look, your vehicle gone and documents gone. Because some persons, what they normally do is to bump your car, go in front of you, show you your license plate. Come on, come see if your license plate drop off to you now. And when you look, your vehicle gone with your papers. All right? Minimize the amount of person in your cash deposit room. I'm so sorry for the older set of people with where the technology is going and this, what you call it from the banks where you get, what you call it from NCB. I don't remember it right now, but they get something from NCB. that they use. Some of us as elder, some of you as elderly people still don't reach there as yet. But we trust some of our family members to help us with this. And I can tell you this. I was in sin, and I can tell you this openly. You know how me get the pin for my husband's phone? Memorize it. Every time he put in one number, me write it down. Me don't need to catch number one again, me get that already. Not true? And then when he put in the number again, me catch the second number, me write it down until me have all the numbers. So if you, I'm just saying, if you take somebody to the ATM with you, you know what will happen? They might not look at them, but they only want one number at a time. And when they get your PIN, you trust them in your house and you throw down your bank card. And then say, oh, the bank card looks so familiar. And next thing, they're not taking it big, little, until next thing you know, Mrs. Moncrieffe, you wonder, what one on your account? Because if you set a target on your account to say, just highlight me when I mean minimum of $30,000 spend, and worse that person may know, I'm going to take 30 or 30,000. You might take less than 30,000 so you wouldn't get an alert. And that sum start to add up until all of your money just take time and bring out. Worse if it's an account that you just send money to and through you're busy, you're not checking that account and your little savings. And when you go, nothing. You see what happened to you saying? Do not expose your wallet or purse in public. Same thing I said. You go to the supermarket. You go in the taxi. And you I do this, I don't know if I'm paranoid to this, but Sister Maureen can tell you, when I'm going home in the evening, take out my fear, and I only have one key to my house, and I put it on one ring, and I put that one on my finger with my fear in my hand. I don't have no more of my fear, so if you drop me, I don't have anything to give more than what I have in my hand. And if you take my key from me, somewhere I go open in a night for me go buy a lock because I not sleep until me change it, even myself, put chain on it till the morning. Yes. Never put all your cash at one place. So for those of us now who are afraid to go to the bank, and we're saying that, so me I put in a trade bag like granny, long time, put in a your trade bag, but don't put it one place. Cash at the ATM. Beware of your surrounding. Locked doors. Never use familiar code or PIN. Example, your date of birth. We hold on sometimes only that we can remember. Not true. Don't write your PIN. Oftentimes, I see persons come at the police records office and they have everything bundled up in one place, especially the elderly people. No disrespect to the elders. I really appreciate you because I learn a lot. I love granny, I should have one, but I not have it. May their soul rest in peace, yes? Right. And they bundle up, and when you look, they have the PIN for their bank cards written even on the back of the card. They can't help it because, they got their memory take time going, and they can't help it, and sometimes it is me who has to say, no, don't do it like this. If you're going to transact business today, then try and sing it in your brain till you go transact your business. And then you go home, go put on back your card. But when you put it in that little, that little pouch with every other IDs, then you left it open because when you go to somewhere to give them your ID, everything fall apart. Because that's what happened, right? If you are forced at the ATM to withdraw cash, comply and enter your PIN. PIN means personal identification number, right? Don't give nobody this. Not even Mrs. Moncrieffe. We not do it, but true. The Bible says we come together and cleave as well. One, we do it. Not true? Of course. Yes. So if you're forced, Mrs. Moncrieffe, I don't want you to believe I'm picking on you, all right? I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not. I would make reference because I know you. Yes. So you enter your pin in the reverse. So no problem. Me, I gotta give you the money, Because what do you think will happen when you enter your pin in the reverse? The machine is gonna take your card. Follow me? So once you enter your pin, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 is your pin, and you enter 3, 6, whatever. Can't get no money, it's not you. Right. Never, and not only that, it's gonna lock your pin. It's gonna lock it. It's gonna lock, and you yourself, if you never have any fear, you have to go walk across the road down and all over go ask the police to drop you home. And you don't have no fear. Or call somebody or beg the taxi where you normally take, or drive till you sort out yourself. Never leave your receipt in the ATM trash bin. You think your receipt not important, not true? So you draw your money and you just throw it in the trash bin. These young men and young ladies, they are very smart. They know exactly what they need from that little bit of paper, Miss Mills, in order for it to get into my millions, your millions, and other people's millions. Follow? Safety whilst driving. Know your route to your destination. So sometimes we are Christians and we must be led by the Holy Spirit. And sometimes we must follow the Holy Spirit. Some phone calls are distractions. Sometimes you never left your house to go draw the money, but you draw the money and your intent is to go straight home. But somebody call you and you divert. Next thing you know, you get ambush, robbed, set upon. So make sure you know your route. Don't left to say, I'm going to Kingston and then end up on Mobile. I tell my husband, if that is the case, problem did it. Because you never left to go on Mobile. That is why we said, tell somebody where you're going. And for us, we know that communication is the key. Communicate. Don't be afraid to communicate. Stop saying that we're too nosy. Why me want to know this? That sort of thing. It does not work. Because we're talking about our personal safety. Make sure you have enough fuel for the journey. Because, trust me, you don't want to run out of petrol in... Hello? Hi. I run back today. As much as all the new road nice and something, you really don't want to run out of petrol around there. You don't want to run out of petrol in certain areas in this country because we know they are termed to police as hotspots. Just like how they have crash spot, hotspot. So we know what will happen there. A lady at my church gave a testimony, say, when God will transform you in a certain situation. She said she was passing a vehicle and she hit the vehicle. And she said when she hit the vehicle, pure boy, she see her come out on her. She said, God. Somebody come out and say, what? Miss Williams. And she started talk to them like Miss Williams. She, Miss, you teach me in a school, so she'll become teacher. She far-fed from being a teacher. So she said, God, transform her into a way to protect her. Because them boys say, yo, you have to pay right now. That sort of thing. So, you understand where I'm going? Right. Park in well-lit area. You know the stoplight is right down there now, but it is not the stoplight. The lighting is right out the road there, but it don't mean say it's safe even though it's lit. It is right there, bright. But maybe that's the brightness they want. Don't leave anything on display in your vehicle. Ladies, we have this habit. Putting our handbags on the seat. I am going to share something with you. Don't put certain devices and leave them in your vehicles. There are objects that can scan your vehicles and pick up these devices. So we said, oh, they will not see your device on the car seat. So we put it in the trunk. I tell you, I spent 7 years at scenes of crime. So I know all the break-ins there. You know, how they access your car, I know they access your house. So they use a jackhammer. They use to access your house. They will use, you see, we used to jack up our vehicle, the jack, and they put it under the grill. And they wind it up on the grill, bust, boop, and they access your house. They break the pivot window, and then they pull up the thing on the back of your seat, and then they access your car. So we have to be mindful of those things. Does it make sense? All right. So you don't leave anything on your car seat. Don't do it. Don't stuff anything in your car doors, coins, or what. Because if it's even if you stop, say you drive a pickup, sir, right? Sometimes you have a pickup. What you don't do, don't put your tools, whether covered or uncovered, in the back of your pickup. Because when you stop at the stoplight, you know what they do? Go on the back of your van and they take out what belongs to them. You, that is theirs. So don't do that. Always lock your car, even if you are leaving it for a short while. So don't leave the car key in the ignition and say, "I just run going to the supermarket." But Mrs. Moncrieffe. So now gone in tin year. No. Avoid road rage. Leave plenty of time for your journey. Be a courteous driver and don't provoke by other people's driving habits. Why? Tell me why. Right, and distraction. I'm afraid of bikers. I'm not telling a lie. When bikers come to my car door, my IQ is 150. Because they come worse when you're female drivers. They come, want to scare you, call you all sort of names, jeer you, and then what? You get upset, and you didn't realize the other bike up on the other side. And then you become casualty to both the argument and maybe life itself. They take your life, take your vehicle gone. Nobody can find you for days or forever. So we have to look into those situations. Always keep your car doors locked when in your car. So you're in your car talking on your phone, but you have one spy. There is this thing called spotting. As a detective, spotting, where you spy, we call it spy, same thing where you call spy, where they come and spot out the place. So you're in your car and somebody lean up, and you don't see the young man lean up and you're not paying no attention. But it's not one young man, it's two young men, 3, 4. And then by the time you're ready to drive off now, you hear come out of your vehicle. Your vehicle where you work, so you all trust you, and sometimes you even hide for pay it because you can't pay it. Because it double up on you and all triple up on all of those things. We know because all of we poor, not true? Right. Always keep car windows closed or only slightly. I see Madam Moncrieffe practice that. Close or barely, you can barely go in her car. Yes, the visor is there and just that little breeze she needs to survive. Reach home, and she lock her door when she go in. Practice those safety tips. Check your vehicle's default before proceeding on your journey. So every morning, you must practice. When you come out, or whenever time your vehicle park for a period, even if you just drive your vehicle, before I leave here, I'm going to walk around my vehicle. I didn't say anybody break into my car, but I must know whether or not my tire is soft, if I can move from here so I can ask for the requisite help before I leave. I don't want to go on my journey and have to be calling, Mrs. Moncrieffe, you know that minute, and something wrong with me? But the problems exist from before I left my location. And our vehicles talk to us, you know. Yes? Thank you for that. So it it makes sense for you to check your cars, check your locks. It is best you check your lock and something stick you. That is unusual, right? Not normally they underneath my car lock to stick me, or how my hand feel that way, how I feel this way. But no, you just, so you want to reach home, church start late and me I got work a morning, you start think about that and you're not thinking about the safety of you moving from point A to point B. Everybody understanding? Am I that boring? Safety at home. So we at the place that is our most and weakest point. Because when you're going in your house, you let down your guard, you know. Yes, of course, because you have to pull your door and go in. All right. If you do not already have one, consider installing a security camera system. Not everybody can afford that, but you know, in the future, if you can, I will implore you to do so. Safety lights that are triggered by movement can also be useful to deter criminals. Invest in those that are solar powered. So we know the JPS bill is to the roof, so we get sun, right? So we power up those lights. And some of those lights are very cheap, you know, very cheap. So if you go to Fast Rich and those electrical lighting places, they have some just a bulb, just the bulb, and it is solar energy. So we can try and invest in some of those. Never turn your lights inside when strange sounds are coming from the outside. Country people do that. I tell them, me used to do it back in the days when I lived in the hills. Pick on the light because you hear something out the door. That time, all time people say a rolling calf, a dopey, and all these things. So you flick on light because you think say the light now bring lightness to what is happening outside. No. I remember doing a scene, a crime scene. The gentleman heard a sound outside, turned on his light, and he went and looked. And when he looked, it wasn't intended for him, really. They then just fire a shot and start running. You know what happened? It touches the window, ricochet, went through his eye, went through his fridge, and ended up in his bedroom. One bullet. It was fatal. Remember, it went through a process, then another process, then another process. So when you hear a strange sound outside, maintain your composure. It is best you have old Harbour number on speed dial, 119 on speed dial. 119 now is, thank God for JCF, it improve as you call them. They're on it, right? You have to support me, no man. You can't make them beat me and me and you. Always, all internal doors and windows should be fixed with secure locks. Mortise, you know the old time lock, right? Or you buy the deadbolt, put on your inside of your house, right? You know, you deadlocks are the better locks for real. I recommend, especially for your final exits to your home. Prevent squeak-in thief by locking your doors and secure your windows when inside your home or even whilst on the outside. So if you're at the, I don't know how we do it. Your house big. But you go upstairs and you open the door upstairs because you want breeze go through the house and the house not gonna have no life because you not did if you visit upstairs and you open it and you're downstairs in your kitchen and play your loud music and you're Christian and sometimes Holy Ghost take you over too and the place left open. Next thing when you turn around and you have somebody else who not belong there in the house. No, it's the reality. Felony could have committed in your house. And then if you are one of them we're afraid that police are going to interrogate you, you know. We are going to ask you some question and you are going to feel sometimes you feel so uncomfortable, you know, because we're not doing this to make you feel uncomfortable, but we want to find out. This investigation is finding out the truth. We want to find out the truth. How this person get in your house. So we have to be smart about this. We run a back a wash in our wash pan. We end down. And then when we check it out, as somebody else and we in our wash pan a wash. Oh, serious. It may sound funny, but it is serious, people. I can't blame you. I can't blame you. it boils down now to our neighborhood watches, our community groups, and stop booming. Me and mind my own business. Crime is all of us business. Until it knocks at our doorsteps, then we know that this is serious business. It's all of us business, our children business, everybody business. So, Sister Maureen, eye opener, open your eyes. Be, try not to leave keys in a place where they can be seen from outside your home. So we buy the Jamaica map with the key hanger on it, and where we put it, right at the doorway. Look nice, you know? It look very nice. Or we buy the, the one that we stick with mail in our home, sweet home, that sort of thing, and where we put it, right at the doorway. Because we really want our house, we have worked a long time, we want nice things in our house, but we're not thinking about our safety. Be careful. Criminals often check to see if people have hidden spare keys outside their homes or put them on a string attached to your mailbox. Something still go on? I don't think so. So back in the days when mommy I left it in her shoes because she know me I do extra nestle and me gonna stadium I practice for netball or something. Them days are done. Teach your children to be responsible enough or try to get home if you don't have work, long hours to get home when your children are going home. Because sometimes these kids, you give them, I used to work at the head office in Kingston, and a lot of times when the driver of the bus comes in the morning, whose keys? Who's this? Who's that? Because the poor children, them go at the town school and them so tired. But because we are police and we have to work and we do the night shift, we give the children the keys. Look here, children have a right to education, that's what the law said. They must have go school. But at the end of the day, don't send them home go lock up in the house by themselves. If me know and you live in a scheme, I got jail. I tell you from now. Yes, me fast like that as a police. Me fast. Me get paid for that. Fast. Yes. Avoid attaching your name or address to keys. If they were lost or stolen, they could make a thief jobs very easy. So this is what we call, Miss Graham, constructive taking. Not true. Where we know, say, the man just come and pull the door and come in and you ask him if him parent in here or him live here when you give him the key because you put, oh, it's so fancy. Because you have keys like that where you put the rubber grip thing over it with your lot number on it, right? So they find the keys and your lot number. And listen, remember, the electoral, the list, EOJ list, if you go online, and me know your date of birth and your name, me know where you live. Remember that the floor book now have my name and my number, address right there. So when you sign up, you have to tell them, hey, even though I have a house phone, don't do this. So you have to tell them these things. If you hear suspicious sounds outside at night, do not go outside. Call the police or your neighbor. I left my home one evening and went to the country. When I came home, my outside pipes all around my house was on. One at the front yard was just wait, but it's not half a day I left here, and I didn't leave it like that. And I drove past a house that I didn't even know it. And I went to Old Harbour and I seek the assistance of the police. I don't know who's at the back of my house or even in my house waiting on me, even though my house is grilled. You hear the pipe outside run. Just make up your mind and come at church, come tarry at altar if you make God help you pay the bill. Because your life is more important. And they will do these things to catch you. And when you know your husband's voice, or your child's voice, but they come and they call you, auntie, and you say me I come there, and you just go open door. You're not even, I look, if I really, whoever you think I call you, know, and when you open the door, somebody start pushing at your house. And most of us, even though we have large sum, we don't have a safe. And the safe even not even makes sense because of where we put it. So everybody is visible just like your key at the door. You just come in, you have your entertainment center. Just so. Put on your phone, your handbag, and you drop asleep all night chair. Your handbag and your phone, everything there is there. And once they get your phone and they put it on aeroplane mode, they access your information. Quickly. Safety outside the home. Make sure garage and other buildings are secure. Be especially careful that any tools and ladders are locked away out of sight. So, for the persons who are doing construction and they have to make the scanty, and then you have a stairwell in your house that you cover with zinc, tell them and them pull down the scanty. If them have to put it up back every day, so be it. But when that criminal come now and him push the drum where they must stand up and go on the scanty and go on top of your house, and that stairwell where your roof, they cut hole into it. So when you gone on a weekend, them have a field day. I have a friend who is suffering because of this. Access to the house, the family went out and the daughter went somewhere else. The family wasn't coming back until 3 days. The daughter came back in the second day. They raped her. They sit there and they cook, they eat, they mess the bathroom, they do everything, and now she's suffering from that. When they came and they saw their daughter, everybody had to leave this country. House is still there. So we have to be mindful. Don't lean up no ladder, no jump, no stick. Not even like, country you cut the bamboo with the crutch on it for people to use to pick things. If the crutches are able, they will use them to climb your roof. Some of us, because they want the big house we build, go right on the wall or use the wall as freeway house wall. Breach, but we say, we are do it. And we do it. And then people gain access to our premises. And through a house so big, we now visit the back to see that somebody take time every day. One little lick, 1 little week. And the more you eat, it compromise the wall. So it get weak. And all right, I'm going on long leave, so I left my house. Gone. What happened when I come back? Truck came and moved out one of my neighbors. And when I saw the truck, I called her and I said, yes, you're moving. She said, Karina, what you say? And I said, no, man. What you mean when I say? You rent the house or something? They break in and they came with trucks and they back up the trucks and they're loading it. Yes, ma'am? So we have to be mindful of these things. We can't just live in a one little box or things say, oh, all is well. Not. Because they will think ahead of you. But it goes back to say, and again, be your nose in the past. Me and my neighbor then live good. Here I notify them that listen, I'll be out for a while. If they are not there, they live very good. I'm not selfish with my camera settings. I make sure it's a part catch for them property. And if me see something look fishy, you don't tell you already me get paid for fast, so me have fast. Yes. I would call that neighbor selfish. Selfish neighbor. And I soon take your question. Persons must learn to understand what is called emotional intelligence. So if I tell you something or trust you with some information, you don't have to tell your son because it's not like your son going to remedy the problem right away. And then now you become target. And yes, yes, you know, we have a culture, the informer culture. And that is what is mashing up our country. This informer people, I must tell you, you have, if you call Crime Stop, sometimes it's not even here the persons are who you're telling these things. These persons are anonymous. That's the word. Me and Sister Graham don't know them. We have persons who we train in Miss Graham from the day we train with them, we don't see them. They're still serving. Yes. So there is not lose hope yet. You know? Trust us still. We still have some good persons, right, Mrs. Moncrieffe? Some of us are still good people. So the fear factor is what is causing us to have this high crime, break-ins and robberies because what? Even in the what you call Yuletide or Christmas season, people know that your family they are firing for the whole year. They don't remember you know, but December they remember you know, and they send you one little much. But what? When you go home, you little much, you know, and you plan it out, and then come in, come rob you. So that neighbor thank you for being a brave citizen, though. You're a very courageous one. Right. So that is what it boils down to, being your brother's keeper and know your surroundings. So if you get up in the morning and things don't look so right, look, man, analyze, right? That's good. That is excellent. That's excellent for neighborhood watches. All right. There's an indication that I have 5 minutes. So let me just wrap up real quick. Real quick. It is very interacting, and I really love that. All right. Board materials mean board are fairly fragile, and it's add to the top of fences makes them difficult to climb. Good outdoor lighting is a great way of deterring intruders. Avoid every shrub. She was discussing that near the house. These are perfect hiding space for thieves, right? Never leave lights burning in the day, as thieves will know the household owners are away. So you live a foreign, and because you're rich, you left your light on until you come back. Hello? When turning home, be alert if the gate or door has been tampered with or any amiss. Leave, immediately call the police or drive to the nearest police station. If you see someone trying to break in, call the police or make yourself into invisible target So it's same thing I was explaining. You stoop, you bend, you kneel, you lay down on your belly too. I feel your clothes, you know, lay down. And clothes can wash. Better you have your life done, you know. Do not allow service personnel. So those persons, we call them in-law constructive people, the constructive taking. They come and then presume, say, they are telecommunication people, NWC, and they wear the logo, they wear the shirt, they have the makeshift ID and all of those things, and then we let down our guards and we access them to our properties, and you know what happened after that, right? Yes. When the household is going on vacation, inform your neighbors. Stop being selfish. I live in a community and tell you, uh, uh, try and visit premises at odd hours. Well, if I work in Kingston, it will be sort of hard for me. So that is why you have to build that sort of relationship with your neighbor. So if your neighbor reach home before you, they will see that something is really off. Right? Do not encourage courier service newspapers. You know you're not going to be home, but you're telling the courier, oh yes, you can deliver on Saturday of next week. And you know you're not going to be there, you know. You know also, you don't say, hold on, I'll give you a call back. You call your neighbors, check with them and said, all right, look out for the fish for me, that's other thing. But no, you tell them come at home and you're not there. Invest in cameras for your home that can be operated remotely. So you have it on your phone, you stay foreign and watch your house and all of those things. And your business, you know, you need internet security, employment security, property security. And I can give you this presentation, even though I just have 2 slides left. Safety for your business. Mrs. Moncrieffe left. Limit access to your internal internet equipment to a few selective employees, managers, and executives. Give password only to this group of people and change internet account access password frequently. Work with your internet team to provide an adequate firewall that always allows your customer, to access your service. Be sure your encryption is strong enough to detect if someone is trying to hack into your network through your website, and create regular backup of all your data and store them at a secure offsite location. And the security for your employee, timely payment of salaries to workers. So if you pay your workers them on time, they don't have no need for thief. Although some we so callous, if that is the word. We just dishonest, you know, with genes. It just can't come out that way. We just left jail and we gone back for the same method of breaking, that sort of thing. Train your employees. All right, train your employees on workplace safety, the procedure to follow if something were to go wrong, and how to identify potential problems. Install video monitors, and please, if you install the security cameras, people, please don't put the hard drive where them steal it if them come in your house. Because what sense the camera going to make when the hard drive gone? Back up your information on a weekly basis. Spare little time and back up the information in your email. Because if you even forget your email password, it can be recreated. That's right. Never let your employees know where the camera system picks up. Institute a badge system that allows access to employees and their guests. A badge system also can help limit access to sensitive area. Right? Property, let me see. Important things to know. I skip some of them. Make all calls before leaving out. If possible, walk with 2 phones. Ensure that one is hidden. Observe vehicle color. Same thing that we were discussing, business places. If you are suspected to be trails, speed, dial the police or a friend, drive to the nearest police station. Do not sleep while riding on public passenger. So, for those persons who want to sleep, All right. One of the P's with community-based policing is the partnership with the community, the police, and the business people, the politicians, and that's basically community-based policing. And what we do as police, we reassure you and we try to make your community safe as possible. But the partnership with uptown people, I would say it is difficult. Ghetto people, you know exactly who them are go to. Uptown people, you don't know their mind. So even if the police stop to talk to you, you don't need degree for the police work. So who you? Me have a degree. I was out there doing regular policing too. Inspector, some of those comments may reach you too. They don't want to talk to you. They just see you as over there and we up here. You have a police station over Langsville. Oh, all right. Okay, all right. Well, that should be done, because I think one of the strategic priorities is that the police have to be in the communities. Regardless of how much manpower we want to have, the police have to patrol the communities momentarily, not just when something happens. Because you come like seek a friend before you need a friend, something happen and you can't solve the murder. But you see, because some of us we don't want to hear nothing from the people them and whatever they kind of stand off. Some people is not really afraid, It's not afraid, but that partnership with you is just off. Sometimes we as the police is the problem, and sometimes it's the people is the problem. I don't think it is, well, the commissioner put his mandate out there, and I'm sure that most divisions are with that mandate. So if the police doesn't visit your community, I think it is important for you to speak to your justice of the peace in the community. Make them aware that, listen, I need the police to visit, not that anything is going on, but mere presence of the police is very important. So it boils down to minding your own business mentality. That's how it is. Right, right. And that's not good. hear this slide first. All right, so this is the last slide I have. My safety, my responsibility. So safety, the acronym, I break it down for you. Seek safety, aim safety, follow safety, ensure safety, teach safety, heal safety. And what I'm going to ask you to do for me is to chorus this so you can remember it somewhere. You remember when we are do what you call it recitation and that sort of thing? So can you just read it together for me, please? Right, all right. So that is the end of my presentation. I thank you for having me, and it was a very interactive one. Right, I hope you have learned something. Thank you.